Welcome to AndyTube. This video is part 10 of a series for a Singer Model 404 restoration. And in part 10 I'm going to start the cleaning parts of the video. And I wanted to show you the product that I've used for a number of years now after trying several. And it's Krud Kutter is the product. It's biodegradable. It's got the Earth Friendly Award, non-toxic, and it's really good at removing grease and oil and grime. And that's why I chose this product. I buy it at a big box hardware store, and it comes in like a quart spray bottle, and then I buy the gallon refill is about maybe $9 or $10, something like that. And I'm really happy to find that product, and I really love it. Eventually that quart bottle sprayer wore out, so I bought this at the same store. It's kind of a heavy-duty spray mister with a 5-year warranty. So the Krud Kutter is what's in here, and you can cut it 25%, 50% with water, whatever you think will get the job done. But I also let me show you what it looks like. This is just a little plastic cup full of it. This is full strength. It's clear, and I use a little cup like this to soak some of the small parts. Let me put a wash in here, washcloth, so I don't lose parts down the drain. And I'll show you some of the parts. Now, I'm not going to clean them all on video because I have over 120 parts now. This is the bobbin winder stop with the dried varnished oil and grease on it. So that'll go in here. Here's some of the other parts from the bobbin winder: the hinge screw, the spring, the little spring, one of the little screws for it. All greasy, grimy. Just drop them in there. This is the pressure bar lifter. Remember how dirty that was. So you don't need to soak these. You can just spray them and clean them, but it's just more effective for me while I'm cleaning some of the bigger parts to just soak the little parts for a few minutes while I'm cleaning the others. This is the lower thread guide from the bottom of the nose or face. So I'll just put them in there, excuse me, soak them full strength, and set them aside. And a few of the bigger parts I've chosen is the nose cover or face cover, just to show you how it will clean the painted part and so forth. And I've got the feed regulator hinge screw, which is pretty grimy. I've got the pressure bar bushing, which I want to show you how I clean the inside. The pressure bar thumb screw, and the needle bar, because that's one of my favorite things to clean and polish, because it's always got varnished oil and stuff on it. You see it up here, see it on the sides. So anyway, those are the bigger parts that I chose. So let me get set up here, and I'll start cleaning. Okay, I usually put some of these bigger parts like this, the needle bar and so forth, in a little strainer. And I usually do this at the stainless steel kitchen sink, but that sink is in use today, and I got chased out of there. So I got even with her. I'm in her bathroom sink. And actually she doesn't mind this because it gets the sink really clean while we're doing it. And then this is the nose piece. So I'll just start by spraying that a little bit here with the cleaner. Come on, you. There we go. And you don't need a real heavy spray, just a light coating, and it is slippery. And you can wear latex gloves and stuff if you want, because this will kind of strip the oil out of your skin. Nothing serious. And then I'll give these a little spray and bounce them around a little bit to make sure that it's covered, and then spray them again. And if I have a lot of, yeah, you can see, well, I can see it's already kind of loosening the stuff and turning black here as it gets that oil off. And you can also take like a sponge and work on some of these parts if you want. So when my wife is finished with her kitchen sponges, I have her give them to me. You can see this little lightweight nylon, and it's all pilled up, so she's replaced it. But that's perfect. That's perfect for me. So I'll give it a little coating of this stuff, and I'll just gently wipe down. One thing about the paint on these, I think it's, I don't know what kind of paint really. It's kind of a flat paint with a gloss. And I found if I leave this cleaner on there too long, it slightly deglosses it. Nothing serious, but just to be aware of that. Don't leave that on there too long. And as a matter of fact, I think I'll go ahead and rinse it. And I'm careful to get all of the cleaner off. That's one thing for sure. So just rinsing it in cool to warm water, that's all. And then lay it on a towel to the side here, let it drip dry. Then my other parts, like this needle bar, I will take that little nylon. You can see that old built up layers right there. And I will take that nylon part and run it around there. I would not advise on these finely polished parts that mesh with other parts, like the needle bar, those needle clamps, needle positioning clamps, the presser bar. Don't use like Barkeeper's Friend. I tried that before, and it gets it clean, but I'll tell you, it does leave scratches on these, and they don't go as smooth. So I've quit doing that. Then here's that hinge screw, and the same kind of thing. I'll just make sure I've got that wiped down a little bit, polished up. I also take an old toothbrush, and I'll use that on parts, especially in the threads. Depending on how varnished up and greasy things are, there's plenty of parts you can just spray and let them sit there 30 seconds to a minute and rinse off, and they will be clean. Here's that thumb screw for putting the pressure on the presser bar. I like to go into those threads with that cleaner. And then the presser bar bushing, I'll just wipe down the outside good, but I will give a little spray to the inside of it. And I got a set of 3 brushes. I think there's actually one smaller than this, but I couldn't find it at the dollar store. But I like to take some kind of a nylon brush and these tubes and bushings and just run it through there and twist it a little bit to make sure I scrub any of that varnished oil out of there. Okay, so let's go ahead and rinse these now. See how that cleaned up real well, bushing. And believe me, it is grease and oil free. This looks a lot different now, doesn't it? The hinge screws all clean, the thumb screw all degreased, brushed out, and the needle bar. So I've got those layers of varnishing off. You can see some of the wear from the thumb screw or the set screw, but all that caked on and dried on and varnished oil is out of there. And this will polish up. I use a metal polish, and it'll polish up real nice now. So then I'll go let's take a look at my little parts I've been soaking. You can see the water's turn, or the cleaner's turn now as it's soaked off that grease and oil. And the cleaner is still got a lot of life left in it. So how can I show you that? What I do is I put a little, well, can't show you there. See if I can get this stuff drained out, and I'll just put it down here for a moment. So I put a bigger cup to recover my cleaner, and these are just from laundry soap and stuff like that I reuse. I'll put my strainer over it to strain the parts, and I'll pour the cleaner into the other cup because it's still got a lot of cleaning power left in it, even though it's discolored now. And then I'll cover the sink. I don't want to lose any of these little parts here. Okay, and I'll take a look at these now and see if I have to brush any more varnished oil off or scrub it off. I'll go ahead and do that. There's the screw, or the spring. It's caught up on here now from bouncing around. And there's the bobbin winder stop. All clean, no more varnishing. Do you remember the lower thread guide was all brown and gunky? And it's cleaned up really nice and shiny just from soaking in there a few minutes. Right? And then one of the bobbin winder screws, it was all greasy. And the tension bracket for the bobbin winder had all varnished junk on it all over. So I'll just rinse those real good and put them out here on my little towel to dry. Now, some of the parts, if I choose to, I can take the parts, and if I want to be sure that they dry here without any rust, I'll put them on a towel or put them back in the sink, and I'll just blow them for a minute or two with a hair dryer. Picked up someplace for about 15 bucks. do the same with the inside of this presser bar bushing to make sure it gets nice and dry in there. So I'm sure you're getting the idea about drying parts there. And that's really critical when you clean the main body with the gearing and bushings and stuff like that. But that's how I clean the small parts. Usually I've got them separated into bags or cups, like the bobbin area, the face area, the feed regulator, you know, like that, and I set them out on a big towel by the kitchen sink, and then I clean them kind of as a group. And then anything that's not shiny metal, I'll tend to use the dryer on. This strips everything so thoroughly that if you just let it air dry, sometimes there'll be a little flash rust, which is no big deal, and I have a very nice, easy to use rust remover. But I just found if I just kind of blow them dry real quick, any part like that that's not polished, you know, like the polished parts, there's no way they're going to rust, and you can just let them air dry, dab them dry with the towel and stuff like that if you want. There's my little screw now that's all clean and shiny from the bobbin winder tension disc. Here's the little chrome screw that goes on the end of the feed lever control to hold the thumb screw on. So that's how I do the small parts, and I can reuse this 2 or 3 times. You'll find when it's too dirty. I mean, it's been a lot darker than this, and I've used it to soak parts for a few minutes, and then it still worked. But you'll kind of find when it's lost its cleaning power. It's saturated with oil and grease and stuff, and then I'll let it go and start over fresh. So that's basically how I clean all the small parts, and I use the original Krud Kutter Degreaser. I also use a rust remover by this company, which I can show you later. But I checked the material safety data sheets on all these different products, and there's a lot of degreasers out there. But I felt this was a lot more earth friendly. You saw I didn't wear gloves. Now when I'm, you know, if I was doing all 120 parts right now, I would probably have slipped on a pair of vinyl or latex or nitrile gloves just to protect my hands from drying out a little bit. So thanks for tuning in on the small part cleaning. And next time I'm going to show you how I clean the whole body in the shower stall with the Krud Kutter and a garden hose I drag in there. Whew, that'll be fun. So thanks for watching, folks, and I hope to see you on my next video cleaning the whole body. Nice and clean, aren't they? Whew. Take care.